called a king cobra? You have? Cool. This is not a king cobra. I was just wondering if he had ever heard of one. This is a snake called a boa constrictor. They're a very famous snake. And you know what? Most snakes squeeze their food like boas do. In fact, this is not a venomous snake. He's a boa constrictor, so he squeezes his food, right? Now, boa constrictors are unique in the world of snakes. They're the only snake in the world that does this. When they are hungry, the way they catch their food is very cool. What they will do is trick somebody into holding their tail, and then they'll wrap a coil around their neck and squeeze them to death. Right, David? Yeah, now, do snakes eat people? No, that's exactly right. Good for you. Snakes do not eat people. And one of the reasons I have a snake in the show, because you'll notice that every animal in my show does a trained behavior except for the snake. But I have the snake in the show because it's important for me to sort of spread the word that almost everything you've ever heard about snakes is either just plain old not true or it's been exaggerated. Snakes don't eat people. The biggest snake in the world cannot eat you unless you had the worst mother on the planet and she left you as an infant next to a giant python. That's the only way a python is ever going to try to eat you. And you know what? You guys are all too big. So I promise you, you will never be eaten by a snake. No one you ever know will be eaten by a snake. Now, next question, David, because he's in the sun and he looks very shiny. Is he all slimy, or is he just kind of dry and shiny? Are you all slimy now? No, that's right. Snakes are completely dry. Scales that cover their skin are made of the same thing as your fingernails. So feel your fingernails. Does anybody in here have slimy fingernails? If you do, raise your hand. Not unless you're picking your nose. So let's get the tissues for the people with their hands up, all right? I always catch a few people. So fingernails are dry, snakes are dry, okay? Now, do you see how Scooter has wrapped his tail around David's arm? That's because Scooter lives in trees. He knows to hang on so he doesn't fall. He's not being mean, he's being smart. So do you see how this color would be his camouflage if he was wrapped around a tree branch? Because this looks a lot like tree bark. And so this kind of snake likes to live in the trees, and so you're seeing that right there because he's hanging on so he doesn't fall. Now, David, one more question. This is by far the most important question I will ever ask you in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Are snakes mean?